Welcome to this week's Level 1 class. We're going to develop on from last week, so again we're going to look at the abs for a little bit. We're going to focus on the lower traps and again on the glutes and really work down. So we'll come on to the hands and knees, we'll get started. Same warm up as last week. We're going to have the hands below the shoulders, the knees below the hips. We're going to tuck the toes underneath the feet, twist the elbows back, lift the knees up off the mat, and then lower back down. Good, keep the shoulder blades together, lift again, and lower down, so just getting the abs activated. Lift and lower, two more, keep the shoulder blades down, chin is tucked in, lower back down, one last one, lift and lower, perfect. Walk the hands forward to the front of the mat. We're going to come up into a plank. So again, if you want to make it a little bit easier for yourself, you can come from the knees. If you want to make it a little bit harder, extend the knees from the toes. Keep the hips tucked underneath the body, hands below the shoulders, and the back flat. Good. And rest down. We're going to do another one. This time we're going to lift the feet up one at a time. So again, back into our plank position, either on the knees or from the toes. We're just going to lift one leg up at a time. So tuck the hips underneath the body, hands below the shoulders. And you just have to lift the knees or the toes just an inch or two up off the mat. You don't have to kick them up into the air, so that'll bring the hips up. Good. And then rest the knees down and then turn over onto your back. So head resting on our headrest, hands by the side. Make yourself comfortable. Imprint the spine. Bring the legs to tabletop. And nice soft toe taps. Left foot and then the right foot. Smooth breaths in and out. Good. Soft taps, you can change to the heels instead of the toes. Stretch the legs out a little bit further. One last one each side. And the legs back to tabletop. And then bring the feet down. We're going to try with 2 feet. Again, bring the focus towards the upper abs, just like last week. So 2 hands onto the ribs. Big deep breath in, expand those ribs, and then breathe all the way out, and then let the ribs come down and in. So imagine you're wearing a corset and you're trying to tighten it as tight as you can, so you bring your ribs in nice and narrow and you try and keep them there and squeeze the upper abs here. So again, big deep breath in, let the rib cage push out, breathe all the way out and think about pulling those ribs down and in as tight together as you can. So keep the ribs down there, hands by the side, chin is tucked in, imprint the spine, legs to tabletop, focus on the ribs. We're going to tap the 2 feet off the mat. Good. 2, 3, we're just going to go for 5, but really focus on the upper abs. 4, and one last one. 5, and then bring the feet down and have a little rest. So again, bring that focus towards the upper abs. Imprint the spine, rib cage comes down, roll the hips back and lift up. And then imagine each vertebrae comes down one at a time. So the upper one's first and each one rolls down bit by bit by bit. And then arch the back, let the ribs pop out. Bring the rib cage down and in again, roll the hips back and lift. And lower back down. Good. And again, roll all the way out, arch the back. Roll the hips back. Keeping the ribs down, lift the hips up. Keep the ribs together as you bring them back down onto the mat and roll out and arch. So you don't usually roll all the way out to the imprint, but it allows us to build better motor control. So better connection from the brain towards these muscles that it can control these movements from one extreme to the other. Good. 3 more. Arch in the back. Roll the hips all the way back, lift the hips up, back down, roll the hips, arch the back, push the ribs out, bring the ribs down and in, lift the hips, lower back down, ribs come out, arch in the back, ribs come down and in, flatten the back, roll the hips back, lift the hips up, and then lower back down onto the mat. Perfect. Next one, we're going to do some single leg bridges following the same technique. So we're going to bring the right leg into tabletop, and this knee's going to come up in an arc overhead as we lift up. It's not going to push straight to the ceiling. So imprint the spine, rib cage comes down, lift the hips and lower. So the knee just gently curves towards your head. Lift and lower. 2. Lift and lower. Remember, each vertebrae comes down one at a time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one last one, 10. And back down. And we'll switch legs. So left leg into tabletop. You don't have to have the knee 90 degrees, but have the knee over the hip. Lift and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each vertebrae comes down one at a time. 6, 7, 8, 9, one last one, 10. And then rest back down. We're going to go for the same again. We're going to bring ourselves up into a bridge. We're going to extend the right leg. We're going to go for 10 pulses and then straight into 10 hip abductions. So we're not going to rest down. We'll rest between left and right, but not between the 2 sets of the right leg. So imprint the spine, roll the hips back, lift the hips up nice and high, hands by the side, extend the right knee and 10 pulses. 1, 2, nice and controlled. 3, 4, 5, keep the right hip level at the left. 8, 9, 10, slide the right to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring the feet down and roll the hips down onto the mat. So we want to make sure the hips don't drop down. For the leg that's extended, make sure that hip doesn't sink down towards the mat. So we want to keep the 2 sides level. Again, roll the hips back, ribs come down, lift the hips up nice and high, extend the left leg, and little flutters. 1, 2, or pulses. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, keep the right hip extended. 9, 10, slide the left leg to the side. 1, 2, remember keep those toes pointing up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend the left knee and roll the hips down. I'll have a little rest for a second. Next we're going to go into a set of hundreds. Imprint the spine, reach the hands to the bottom of the mat, tuck the chin in, roll the chin up into the chest and beat the hands 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe out, 2, 4, 5 and in, 2, 3, 4, 5 and out, 2, 4, 5 in, 2, 3, 4, 5 out, 2, 4, 5 in, 2, 3, 4, 5 out, 2, 4, 5 in, 2, 3, 4, 5 out, 2, 4, 5 in, 2, 4, 5 out, 2, 4, 5 in, 2, 4, 5 out, 2, 4, 5, remember lift the chest nice and high, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, get those shoulder blades up, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, last breath in, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, rest the head and shoulders back down onto the mat. Good, so remember looking to get those tips of the shoulder blades up off the mat a little bit higher. We're going to go for another set. This time we're going to bring the legs to tabletop. So we're going to imprint the spine, bring the legs into tabletop, again hands by the side, reach the hands to the bottom of the mat, tuck the chin to the chest, head and shoulders up, and again beat the hands 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe out, 2, 4, 5 and in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 4, 5 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 4, 5 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 4, 5 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 4, 5 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 4, 5, roll up nice and high, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 more breaths, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, last 2, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, last breath, roll up really, really high, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, Rest the head down and rest the feet down, and you'll really feel those upper abs working. Next set, we're going to do our flutter kicks. We're going to change, we're going to roll up a little bit higher, and we're going to grab and hold of the leg so we can get the upper abs working. We can use the hands to pull the upper body up, and then as we let go of the leg, we have to hold ourselves there, really working the abs really strong for a short period of time, and then grab and hold the other leg. So, imprint the spine, legs to tabletop, straighten the legs to the ceiling, 2 hands to the back of the right calf, use the hands to roll yourself up a little bit higher, and then switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't let the shoulders drop back. 9, 10. And then rest the legs, rest the head, and then bring the feet down onto the mat. Next set, we're going to do some roll-ups. So we're going to straighten the legs down onto the mat, bring the hands back behind the head, and again, we're going to target the upper abs a little bit more. So we're going to roll up, reaching up towards the ceiling. So arms forward, chin to the chest, rolling up. 1, shoulders away from the ears, and control down onto the mat. 2, and then back down. 3, and back down. 4, 5, halfway. 6, keep the feet down. 7, I'm getting a little tired, I'm reaching out in front. Keep reaching up to the ceiling. 8, last 2. 9, and last one. We're going to hold ourselves up here. Arms forward, chin to the chest, rolling up. And then stay up here. So bring the hands back either side of the mat now. And then bend the knees. So ankles, knees, hips are all 90 degrees. Pinch the shoulder blades back. We're going to extend the right leg. And then the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going for 20. 10 in each leg. Good. So what we're looking for here is to keep the knees in line with each other the whole time. You don't let the knees sink down towards the mat. Good. One last one each leg. And then rest. Bring the hands back a little bit more. Hands a little wider as well. Really push the chest forward. Squeeze those shoulder blades. We're going to kick both legs up. 1. And again, the knees stay in the same position. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then rest down. Give the shoulders a little bit of a rest for a second. We're going to draw 10 circles clockwise and anti-clockwise. So it doesn't matter which direction you start first. We're going to go through both directions on both legs. So again, pinch the shoulder blades back, bring those hands back, extend the right knee, lower it halfway, and 10 circles, whichever direction you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change directions. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Keeps pushing the chest forward. 1. And switch legs. Straighten the left and lower halfway. 1, 2. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And keep that right knee still. Keep the toes up. Good. Chest is forward. And change directions. Good. Keep that right knee as still as you can. Nice round circles on the left. And really squeeze those shoulder blades. 3 more. 2. Last one. And bend the knees. Again, have a little rest. The next one we have an option, depending on how hard you want to make it. We're going to extend the legs and lower them to the mat. If you find that's too difficult, you're going to come back to just extending the legs like we did before. But we're going to try and lower them down to the mat. Even if you can lower them halfway, try and give that a go. So again, bring the hands back nice and wide, makes it a little bit easier. Sit back into the hands, and then stick the chest forward. We're going to extend both legs, lower as close to the mat as you can, and then bend the knees. Rest the heels down in between. So extend, lower, bend. Extend, lower, bend. And really squeeze those shoulder blades. Lower, bend. Extend, lower, bend. Halfway there already. Extend, lower, bend. Extend, lower, bend. Really squeeze those shoulder blades. Try and twist the elbows down towards the floor. Good. 2. Last one. And then rest down. So don't let the elbows point out. Really pulling them in. Try to get the point of the elbows pushed down towards the floor. Don't have it out that way. Try and bring it in that way. You want to have them point down. It really gets the lower traps and the external rotators working. We're going to turn over onto our stomachs next. So, lying down flat, rest the 2 hands on top of the head block, and then your head on the back of the hands. Pinch the shoulder blades away from the ears, and we're going to tuck the hips underneath the body, squeezing the abs and glutes. Lift the head and shoulders just an inch off the mat, and lower down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest in. Next we're going to do legs, so keep the head and shoulders in, squeeze the abs, lift the 2 legs and lower, so try to stick the thighs up off the mat. 2, and it's a very small lift from the thighs. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, 10, and rest down. We're going to do the arms and legs next, so squeeze the abs nice and tight, lift the arms and legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest down. The next one, we're going to extend the arms out in front. We're going to lift the arms, then the head, then the chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, and rest back down. Good, next one we're going to do, lift the arms and the legs up together. We're going to hold them there, and we're going to beat the arms up and down and the legs up and down in opposite directions. So squeeze the abs, lift the legs, lift the arms, and little kicks. Keep the chin tucked in, keep the shoulders pulled back away from the ears, and smooth movements, and then rest the arms, rest the legs back down onto the mat. Next, bring the hands back by the side, so palms are facing down, reach the hands to the bottom of the mat, pull the shoulder blades back away from the mat, twist the thumbs out and up, and lift the chest, and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, keep the chin tucked in, 9, one last one, twist the thumbs as high as you can to the ceiling, keep the hands as close together behind your back as you can, and then lower back down. Perfect. Turn onto your side next. So, back lined up at the back of the mat, feet to the front corner, again, head underneath our headrest, head on top of the headrest, hips swing forward so the feet point towards the front corner of the mat. Push that top hip away and lift the top leg for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And rest back down. Little circles next. Lift the top leg parallel to the floor, push the heel away, and we'll start clockwise or anti-clockwise, whichever one you feel. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change directions. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest the leg down. Next one's going to be big circles. So make sure as we lift the leg up nice and high, the hips don't come up towards the shoulder. Lift the top leg, push the heel away, kick the leg forward, up, back and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change directions. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Don't let the circles get lazy. 5. Keep them nice and big. 4, 3, 2, 1. And controlled movements all the way around. So don't just be swinging the leg wildly. Make sure you're controlling it the whole time. Next one, cycling forward. Lift the top leg so it's parallel to the floor. And cycle forward. 1, 2. Keep the shin parallel to the floor all the time. Don't let the knee drop down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And backwards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest the leg down. The second last one. We're going to add an extra one in this week. We're going to bring the top leg up about 1 foot into the air and the bottom leg is going to touch it. So we're going to bring the top hand down onto the mat, lift the top leg and lift the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Controlled movements. 4. Keep the top leg still. 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And rest the legs down. The last one, we're going to lift the leg up nice and high as you can. Turn those toes so they're straight forward, so they're not pointing to the ceiling, and 10 little pulses up nice and high. So lift the leg up, don't let the toes turn up, have the toes pointing forward. 10 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slow pulses. Really feel those muscles gripping. 8, 9, 10. And rest the legs down. You really feel the muscle contract, almost want to spasm. So round the back, so imprint the spine, and then pull the left leg back. So nice stretch along the front of the left thigh. Good, we're going to repeat the same on the opposite side, and I'm going to stretch out the next end just before we finish. Good, rest the leg down and turn over onto our opposite side. So again, back line up the back of the mat, feet swing towards the front of the mat, hold on to the top hip just so it doesn't move, and lift the top leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Little circles next, top leg parallel to the floor. 1, 2, 3, and it doesn't matter which way you start as long as you go to 2 directions. So just remember the first direction you went and then switch it after 10. 9, 10. Change directions. 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep the pelvis still. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest the legs down. Big circles next. Make sure the leg doesn't get lazy halfway through, so we keep those circles nice and big around the whole time. Top leg up an inch and kick the leg forward, up, back and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So pick a mark on the wall, make sure your leg goes above that every time. 9, 10, and change directions. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, nice smooth movements, nice round circles. 3, 2, and last one, and resting. Next one, keep the shin parallel to the floor as we cycle forward and backwards. Lift the top leg so the shin is parallel to the floor to start, and then cycle forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, keep that knee up. 9, and pelvis as still as you can. 10, and backwards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest the leg down. Top hand down onto the mat. We're going to lift the bottom leg up. So lift the top leg up 1 foot into the air and lift the bottom leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nice smooth movement. 6, don't drop the leg down. 8, 9, and 10, and rest the 2 legs down. Nearly there. Last one, our pulse is up nice and high. Make sure his toes are pointing forward and not up towards the ceiling. So lift the top leg as high as you can, toes pointing forward. 1, 2, so really slow. 3, 4, feeling the glutes contract. 5, 6, 7, 8, keep the heel up nice and high. 9, last one. 10, and then rest down. Grab the front of the thigh, stretch out the quads, and I will stretch out the neck just before we finish. Good, stretching the leg back, imprint the spine, so don't arch the back as you pull back. Keep the rib cage down, think about imprinting the spine, and a focus stretch down onto the quads. Good, and then straighten the legs down onto the mat. Come up into sitting, and then just as we finish, bring the nose down towards the armpit, hand over the top of the head, straighten the spine up nice and tall, and just relax the neck. So you feel a stretch coming down the outside of the left side of the neck if you're pulling your head to the right, on the right side of the neck if you're pulling your head to the left. Good, straighten the spine as much as you can, you get more of a stretch. And then back to the middle, turn to the left, right hand resting by the side, and the same thing, straighten the spine up nice and tall, drop the right shoulder back so you get more of a stretch into the levator scapular muscle. Good, and then come back to the middle. That's the end of this class. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next week. Bye bye.